Welcome to another episode of The Modern Hotelier. We're excited to bring you this month's look back on hospitality hot topics for March. Today, we are joined by Gray Rains from Rains Company. Thanks for joining us, Gray. How are you doing today?
Good. Glad to be here. Just coming off of a hunter conference and excited to spend a few minutes with you.
Awesome. We're happy to have you. So for those that might not be familiar with Rains Company, can you give us a little overview of what you all do?
Absolutely. Rains Company is a fully integrated management, investment, and development company headquartered in Florence, South Carolina. We have offices in Charleston and Dallas as well. We represent about 63 properties, a lot of hard brands, Courtyard, Hilton Garden Inn, Residence Inn, and then woven by Rains is our leadership team on the management side that's focused on curated, independent, luxury, soft-branded assets. And we have about 7 of those in the portfolio and growing rapidly.
Awesome. That is great. Well, we're going to dive right in here. The first topic that we're going to talk about, which I feel like this is a topic we almost talk about on a pretty regular basis, hotels are still struggling with staffing shortages. Nearly 65% of hotels across the U.S. continue to report staffing shortages. The most mentioned shortages we're seeing are housekeeping. 38% of hotels have shortages there, followed by front desk. 26% of hotels are having shortages there. And then culinary positions and maintenance positions are the next two. Great. I'm going to start with you. What are you seeing with the staffing shortages?
You know, it is affecting us. I mean, some markets certainly more than others, but for us, it's a deeper dive back into culturally, what can we do better within the hospitality world? I mean, we've done ourselves a disservice really since we got started as an industry in that we're 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It's looking back. And for us, we're finding a lot of success on more flexible hours, really looking at the schedule to make sure that we're bringing a quality of life back for our folks. So a big focus there. Then pay raises are certainly something that all of our properties are looking for better ways to be successful, keeping people working with us. A big focus on retention, because we know training new folks is a tough, costly endeavor. But it is a problem, and it's something that we all have to face as an industry. David, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, I couldn't have said it any better. I mean, as Steve said, we've talked about it for, it seems like 2-3 years now. Exactly what you said, really just creating the flexibility. I kind of harp on this whole concept of making hospitality a career, not a job, and making it where, people have kind of this path to where they know that, hey, I can move up and I can achieve certain things and status. And, it's a great industry, as we've had many guests say, like you've got everything rolled into a hotel: sales, marketing, finance, operations. So I'm hoping that it gets better. And I'm hoping that with the adoption of some of these employee and guest improving technologies, that it just kind of alleviates some of the weight too that we're experiencing on the issues. So one of our favorite topics is always talking about traveling and planes. Steve knows I love boarding. The boarding process is my favorite. So Southwest has ended free bags, and we've got Spirit moving into some premium services. So I'll stay neutral on this one. But Steve, what are your thoughts when you read about this?
Am I living in an alternate universe here? Like I was shocked by kind of both more for Spirit than Southwest. Southwest, I feel like, is moving in the direction of every other airline, kind of more nickel and diming you, moving away from the free bags now. They're assigning seats. So moving more towards a traditional airline, which I'm curious to see how this will work out. I'm not a Southwest guy, but I know the people that are
yeah.
huge into Southwest and they love it. But I was shocked by Spirit moving towards a more premium airline. If you would have asked me a year ago where Spirit is going to be in 2025, I probably would have said bankrupt, since that's where they were heading. They tried to do the merger with Frontier. That didn't work out. It felt like they were trying to do anything to merge with another company, and now they're moving towards a premium airline. So one thing that I'm really interested to see, they are redesigning their loyalty program and entering into alliances with other airline carriers. So I'm really curious to see how this pans out. But who knows? Maybe I'll be a huge Spirit guy moving forward. Great. What do you think about this?
Things that seem impossible. I agree 100% with you. But, it's always disappointing when you see someone that could be a disruptor, could do something different within an industry, and they just simply fall right in line. And what a way to be an afterthought. I constantly look for an industry that needs to be disrupted, and that is the airline industry. It's not a great experience. There's no customer focused attention given at all. And no, it's disappointing to see. I would prefer to see someone like a JSX is a perfect example of someone that is
Yes.
really doing it a little
Yes.
differently. And I would prefer to see a company move in that direction. And I'm concerned that Southwest will lose the loyalty that they've worked so hard to build, and that they'll just become another afterthought. So, David, your thoughts?
Exactly what you said. I mean, I think that they're going to become one of many. And like Steve was saying, the people who are diehard Southwest people, they are diehard Southwest people. They love the boarding process. They like not having a seat. They know how to get a Costco gift card for $500 worth of Southwest for $470. Trust me, my wife's friend is one of these people and knows how to kind of game that system. So I think they're going to find themselves, like you both said, one of many, and not that airline that everybody talked about as being different.
Well, as we're moving on, hotels updating designs for Bleisure travelers. Where do we think we're moving there? I certainly think it's a big focus for us, especially in our curated properties, that it's not just simply a normal layout for any of our properties. It's constantly looking at our guests, seeing how they are traveling, and truly knowing our guests. I think that we're spending more and more time understanding the demographics for each of our properties and the markets they're in. And with that, we're having a lot of fun being more creative with the FF&E layouts, our lobby layouts. We're doing a independent property in Columbia, South Carolina right now that is going to service a lot of our state house, our legislature, and just how we've laid out the lobby space and the public space and how it flows to the restaurant. But it creates a lot of intimate environment within the public space that allows meetings to take place, that the feedback we were given is what a lot of those politicians are looking for. We're there to give it to them. So your thoughts, David?
Yes, I think what I'm noticing, and as I'm talking to people, is that even the brands, I was on a call yesterday, I won't name the brand, but they're designing hotels where they're looking at it as a micro room and kind of this expanded, exactly what you said, lobby where people want to gather. They want to feel like they're not, people are working remotely now, so they want to feel this kind of sense of community. And from a personal experience, I was just in Amsterdam, and because of the size of a group, I know people get upset. We stayed at an Airbnb, but I found myself, there was a hotel that had a very good kind of cool lobby just a block away that I was going over there to kind of work, just to feel like the energy and feel people moving around. So many are trying it, and I think it's a move that's going to keep going because there's so many of us that travel for work. Steve?
I agree. I mean, I was just traveling in Orlando and obviously had to do some work in my hotel room and things like that. And honestly, it wasn't very comfortable. I had this little desk and I was just staring at a wall. So what, in this article, they're talking about kind of reevaluating those traditional hotel room layouts, having a workspace that's comfortable, and it's not this uncomfortable chair and you got this little desk where it's hard to move around and get work done. But I also love that they're talking about kind of reinventing the lobby. It's not just a place where you're checking in. David and Gray, you kind of both touched on this, but it's more of a sense of community where it is encouraging people to interact with each other. David, you and I got to go to the Mining Exchange Hotel in Colorado Springs for their opening. And that's the first thing I thought of when I read this about the lobbies, because that lobby was the most energetic lobby I have ever been in. Like, you walk into the hotel and you feel the energy of the hotel. It was not the first time I felt like that, but the one that really stood out to me, and it hit me in the face right when I walked in the hotel. So I love this leisure travel. I'm a big fan. I I do it a lot. So I'm glad hotels are finally coming around for this.
Another topic now is hotels are the riding the cruise ship wave. And we just had Scott Eddy on the podcast. He basically he kind of gave us the kind of what I always call Captain Obvious, that a cruise ship is really just a floating hotel at the end of the day. And most of the people that run or are responsible for those cruise ships are a lot of like ex hoteliers and now in the cruise ship industry. So what are your thoughts on what's going on that side of the business, Gray?
Yeah, I mean, I like to see it. I like to see us making it easier for the traveler. I mean, they're instead of always seeing someone as a competitor or they're taking someone out of the hotel space, the reality is cruise ships aren't going anywhere. So let's embrace it. Let's build the partnership. We need it for the hospitality industry in general. And I encourage, our folks to do that on our properties, but also as an industry as a whole, let's find ways to make that travel easy. That whether it's the hotel pre or post stay, be a resource, be an opportunity to create those partnerships. I like seeing it. Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, one of the stats that jumped out to me was North American cruise passenger volume jumped 18% last year, while revenue per available room in the US for hotels flattened to 1.8%. So that tells me right there that people are all about cruises, and we're seeing hotels get into cruises, right? Ritz-Carlton launched their own cruise line. When I was in Orlando at this conference, I had the opportunity to sit at a round table with a gentleman from Virgin Cruises. And he was telling me about how they are growing, how they're expanding their fleet, how they're expanding how many cruises they're doing a year. And not only that, but how they're expanding the experiences on the cruise. And I've never been on a cruise, but he sold me. And now I can't wait to go on a Virgin cruise because it sounds incredible. So who knows? Maybe I'll turn into a big cruise guy. But kind of on the other side, not cruises, not hotels, but are we going to see hotels get into private jets? Four Seasons has launched a private jet experience, and it was inspired by the HBO series The White Lotus. They will be taking 48 guests to 8 destinations beginning in May 2026. They're going to start in Singapore, and then they're going to visit Koh Samui, the Maldives, Tumora, Marrakesh, Nevis, Mexico City, and Maui. The price tag starts at $188,000. Great. Are you going to be signing up for this private jet?
I might be going on the bucket list, but I'm not quite ready to put one on the sign up today. I'm not going to be on the first trip, maybe the 10th one. But man, you just talk about something that's awesome. And where does the variation of this flow through? I mean, again, I think that making travel easy, making travel unique is something that we have to do. It can't just be offering a hotel room for the night. Those days are long gone. So how do you layer the amenities and create a different experience than anyone else? Well, let's throw a private jet in the mix. That seems like a pretty good idea. So I think it's great. It's fun to see. And for those lucky travelers, it will be very, very cool. David, your thoughts?
Yeah, no, for a guy who's been fortunate enough to sometimes, fly international and be in the front of the plane, I can't imagine what this experience is going to be like. The only thing I really have to say is if you're listening Four Seasons, Gray, Steve, and I know it's going to be tough, but we would volunteer to make sure that the service and the food and the drink is up to standard. So we're more than happy to do a test flight or whatever you need of us. You can reach us at our website, themodernhotelier.com. So with all that, we've covered a lot of great stuff. And what we'd really like to end with is Gray, you telling us what's new with Rains. What's going on?
Well, we're excited. We just opened the Hilton Garden Inn in Greenville, North Carolina with ownership group of Clarendon Properties and Coex Holdings, just a community-focused servicing East Carolina University, a very cool design, rooftop bar, great restaurant. We're excited when we can go into a market. We've always been a company that's approached secondary, tertiary markets aggressively. We love to be the hotel in the market, and we have delivered that with our partners, and really thrilled to have that one on board. But no, it's good to have our development pipeline full. We're busy. We've got construction projects. We've got acquisitions. For somewhere where we thought we were not going to build any new hotels at the beginning of last year, to have a few under construction and a few more starting shortly is extremely encouraging. So it's busy at Rains. We're excited about our growth.
Well, that does it for another episode of The Modern Hotelier. This has been Hospitality Hot Topics. We are proud to be hospitality's most engaged podcast. So whether you're watching or listening, we appreciate you, and we will see you again soon. Thank you. Thanks, Gray.
Awesome. Thank you.
You made it to the end of The Modern Hotelier. Thanks for watching or listening. The Modern Hotelier is produced by Modern Hotelier Media. Make sure to like and subscribe if you're listening on YouTube, or subscribe wherever you get your podcast. If you know a good guest, sponsor, or have media needs, feel free to reach out to us at hello@themodernhotelier.com. Thanks and have a great day.